Okay, kids, it's 4:20 in the AM exactly. I mean, not okay, maybe 2 minutes away from 4:20, which gives me time to set this up before we go here. This is going to be a wake and bake, but it's going to be a wake and bake with some music and not just whatever's on the radio or the TV cable music like I usually do in my room. Because as you can see, I'm downstairs in the Nizzy den, which over here on this table, which maybe I'll give you a shot of it in a little bit, is the turntables and the stuff that we use to make the Metal Bunny music. And speaking of which, that's kind of what we're doing here on this wake and bake. So here we go. We got a redwood pre-roll of some OG KB. That's OG Kush breath or some shit like that. I don't know, but it's a pre-roll, and I love pre-rolls, so we're gonna smoke pre-roll. And then I also got an eighth of this Great Valley Kush, and this stuff is just, oh man, it smells so good. It has a really high THC count. I don't know if you can't really. Let's see if I can get some more light on things. Yeah, there you go. Hey. Man, that shit is badass. So I got some of that here in Wesley Pipes. Okay, so we're gonna start with that because I don't know, the pre-roll is a gram, but they seem to go pretty fast. But here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna play. Okay, first of all, let me just back up here. While we have our wake and bake, we are going to debut a new track from my boy, the XLG. No longer working with Dan, who was Dr. Theory and Vermin Nailer and the other half of the Bums of the Future. So I'm going to have to produce the rest of the Untouchables album, the Frank Nitty and the Untouchables album with Luke and whoever else I can get to produce a track for me maybe, and then of course myself, I can produce too. We're going to produce a few more tracks for the album and finally get that Emcee Frank Nitty and the Untouchables out. So Luke has stepped up in the loss of the other half of the Bums of the Future. I'm still going to produce under that name, the Bums of the Future, so it'll pretty much be the same thing. We just won't have Dan to do his characters and do his rhymes, unfortunately. So, like I said before in another announcement, it'll be Emcee Frank Nitty and the Untouchables, and so I'll be finishing the album doing duets with like the Nixon Dwarfs and Urban Richards and Drake Grizzly and the Nizzy and stuff like that, and a new character, Sammy the Bull. And Lucas stepped up to help me produce the rest of the record. Well, one of the songs I wanted to flip was this. This is a song by the Average White Band called Schoolboy Crush. Just listen to it for a little bit. This is what it sounds like. Famously sampled. Oh wow, this is good stuff. Famously sampled by Rakim, the Microphone Fiend. Several other hip-hop songs from the golden era have sampled this. Okay, so you hear the basic groove. Here's some of the vocal. So obviously this is some more of that younger girl, older guy shit. So meet me in the playground at 2:45 when everyone's gone. He's school boy crushing on this bitch. Oh, wow. So you've heard those elements, you know, in hip-hop songs before, right? Okay. Well, actually, that's the hook. For the first time, and a schoolboy crush. So you got it, right? This is what the XLG flipped for me using that track. He just took that, and I think maybe added a little bit of like the do from my time keeps on slipping, slipping. I hear that in there, a little bit of the of the Steve Miller. But okay, so that was Average White Band. I told him to use that as his main thing to flip for a Frank Nitty song called Rude Boy Crushin'. And here we go. See that? That's that. It's a little, I mean, it's actually perfect pace, tempo for Untouchables. But it's like so much more funky than any other Untouchable track because the Untouchables been flipping like pop hits from the 80s. He added Q-Tip going too. And that's from the original track. So I'm not even sure when I'd start rhyming because it just keeps building. You know, it's still building. So probably right around here I'd start rhyming. Emcee Frank Nitty shit. Something right here. I haven't written any lyrics for this yet. You know, it's just about a guy crushing on a schoolgirl. Legal, of course. 18-year-old schoolgirl. Regardless of the subject matter, the track is dope. I mean, all I said to Luke was I wanted to use Average White Band's Schoolgirl Crush. And this is what he created for me. He hasn't even put the scratches in yet. Because we're not sure where the scratches will be. Because I have to write a couple verses to this, but the track is so dope, I'm not sure exactly where to rhyme. To be honest, I might have to ask him to like drop some shit out for a little bit for me to like rhyme. See, I've listened to the track a couple times, but I haven't really thought about like, okay, where am I going to start rhyming and shit? And I love every minute of this track so much. I mean, I can definitely be rhyming right here, of course. But this is 2 minutes and 30 seconds into a 3-minute and 50-second song. I got to rhyme before that. I wanted to call it Schoolboy Crush. It's called Schoolgirl Crush. I want to call it like Schoolboy Crush, like, not that I was a schoolboy, but that I was like crushing like a schoolboy on a schoolgirl, but it's too confusing. He called the track Rude Boy Flush. That's what Luke sent it as with the title. So I'm thinking calling the track Rude Boy Crush. I think that's no-brainer, right? That's it. All right, cool. Well, we figured out the name of the track, but I don't know when I'm going to rhyme because everything is so smooth. Anyway, we're almost to the end here. Of course, there's no structure to it as far as a hook or anything, but I think that's pretty amazing. I mean, I've known Luke since I was in high school. I've known him since I'm like 17 years old. That's dope. Oh, it just looped. Holy shit, no way. Oh yeah, it just started over and you didn't even notice. The extra loop genius looped his own shit. Okay, well it just started over. That's the beginning again. So, yeah, fuck, I don't know. Okay, we got a couple of minutes left here. We're not going to get to the pre-roll. I'll use the pre-roll for talking about records. We are going to do talking about records, and I'm probably going to do it right here in this area. But listen, where would I start rhyming? Here's the beginning of the track. Let's probably like a scratch here or something, right? You know, like rude boy, you know, some kind of like reggae scratch or something. Okay, right here. I still don't think I should be rhyming yet. We're 20 seconds in. I can start rhyming right there. Frank Nitty. City to city, it's over city to city, it's over titty to titty, it's over bitty to bitty. My papa fever, we were top of he bitty. I don't know if that's even gonna be my flow. I haven't written. But see, if I rhyme there, you don't hear all this stuff happening, all this subtle vocal punches happening that he put in, you know. So I might have to have him restructure it a little bit, make it a little bit more naked in the middle for me to rhyme. See, I could wait a whole minute. I could start rhyming right here. Boom. Yeah, that's a minute of just track before I start rhyming. There could be scratches and like some talking that goes on there. Go! See, every time I play it, I hear something different. Like that. Go! But anyways, that is the latest track I've received from the Extra Loop Genius. Based on this song. The Average White Band. From the album Cut the Cake. I have their first album on vinyl. That has Pick Up the Pieces on it. Actually, I think I also have, if I didn't sell it, my dumbass, the second album too, The Average White Band. Okay, so The Average White Band and The Average White Man and the Not So Average half white, half black, Asiatic master of the fresh beats hooked me up with a track there. And if that's going to be how we're going to finish the record, with a few tracks like that, of that quality, and a few things that maybe I can come up with, it was like maybe hopefully he could do like maybe 3 tracks and I could do like 4. And then with the ones that are already done, which is 5 tracks. Yeah, about 12 tracks hopefully for the album. So anyways, I'm waiting for this goddamn record to upload. I've been doing the Freeze Notable Record Club. And 4 really good records went through. Oh, that's something I did want to talk about here. I got 1 minute left. I fucking wasted all my time. Not wasted, but anyways, I did this like Van Halen 40th anniversary thing because it's been 40 years since Van Halen's debut album and it got blocked. And you know, AC/DC and Aerosmith and Alice in Chains and Arcade went through. Arcade went through tonight. Check that out if you haven't. That's a great group. It's a super group. If you like the old hairband shit, it's 2 guys from Rat and 2 guys from Cinderella. And one of the guys from Rat is Stephen Pearcy. So it's got Stephen Pearcy, lead singer of Rat, doing the vocals. And then I think it's a drummer and a bassist from Cinderella. I know the drummer is from Cinderella. And then the other guitarist I think is from Rat, or maybe from the band Alcatraz, which is an old band, but I'm not sure. Anyways, this is Supergroup, and it went up. It's self-titled album from 1993 called Arcade. Check it out. I got 30 seconds. Waiting for Balls to the Wall to upload from Accept. But yeah, that Van Halen got blocked, and it sucked, man. It was Van Halen's debut album. It's 40 years old this year. And, well, maybe I'll talk about it in some other segment. But anyways, we're about to be out. Waking and baking, shaking. And quacking and quaking. Peace out to Courtney. Big shouts to my homegirl, Baby.